Welcome back, class, to the next chapter of Polity Lakshmikant Parliamentary System. So, the Constitution of India provides for a parliamentary form of government both at center and states. The Article 74 and 75 with the parliamentary system at the states and the Article 163 and 164 in the states. The parliamentary system of government is one in which executive is responsible to the legislature of of its policies and acts, and the presidential system of government on the other hand is one which the executive is not responsible to the legislature for its policies and acts, and is constitutionally independent of legislature with respect of its term of office. Parliamentary government is also known as cabinet government or responsible government, cabinet government or responsible government, or Westminster model of government, and is prevalent in Britain, Japan, Canada, India, and among others. And the presidential government, on the other hand, is also known as non responsible or non parliamentary or fixed executive system of government, and it is prevalent in USA, Brazil, Russia, Sri Lanka, and others. So, we have some features of the parliamentary government. First one is nominal and real executive. That is, the president we have is the nominal executive, and the prime minister is the real executive. Nominal executive is the president, and the real executive is our prime minister. Thus, president is the head of the state, and the prime minister is the head of the government. Article 74 provides for a council of minister which is headed by Minister, which is headed by PM, Prime Minister, to aid and advise the president in exercise of his function, and the advice so tendered is binding on the president. The next one is majority party rules. That is the political party which secures majority seats in the Lok Sabha. It forms the government. The leader of that party which have the majority seats is appointed as the prime minister by president, and other ministers are appointed by the president on the advice of prime minister. However, when no single party gets the majority, a coalition a coalition of parties may be invited by president to form government. Third one is collective responsibility. This is the bedrock principle of parliamentary government. The ministers are collectively responsible to the parliament in general and the Lok Sabha in particular, and they act as a team and swim and sink together. The principle of collective responsibility implies that the Lok Sabha can remove the ministry from office by passing a vote of no confidence. Next is political homogeneity, means usually members of council of ministers belong to the same political party, and hence they share the same political ideology. In case of coalition government, ministers are bound by consensus. The next one is double membership. The ministers are the members of both legislature and executive. This means a person cannot be a member without being a member of parliament. The constitution stipulates that a minister who is not a member of the parliament for a period of 6 consecutive months ceases to be a minister. Then we have leadership of prime minister. That is, the prime minister plays the leadership role in this system of government. He is the leader of council of minister, leader of parliament, and leader of party in power. And these capacities, he plays a significant and highly crucial role in functioning of government. Then dissolution of lower sabha. The lower sabha of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha, can be dissolved by the president on the recommendation of prime minister. In other words, prime minister can advise president to dissolve the Lok Sabha before the expiry of its term and hold fresh elections. So why the why the framers of the Constitution of India adopt the parliamentary system? Because there is the familiarity with the system. We have the familiarity of the parliamentary form of government with the system, and preference to more responsibility. It prefers to the more responsibility, and it need to avoid the legislative executive conflicts. And there is a nature of Indian society that who belongs to the parliamentary system. There are some merits and demerits of the parliamentary form of government. Pa- So the merits are, there is a harmony between legislature and executive. That is, the greatest advantage of parliamentary system is that it ensures harmonious relationship, that cooperation between legislature and executive organs of government, and the executive is a part of legislature, and both are interdependent at work. Second one is responsible government. By its very nature, a parliamentary system establishes a responsible government. The ministers are responsible to the parliament for their acts of omission and commission, and parliament controls the exercises over the ministers. Then we have prevent despotisms, means the executive authority is vested in a group of individual, that is council of minister, and not in a single person. This dispersal of authority checks checks the dictatorial tendencies of the executive, and executive is responsible to the parliament and can be removed by the no confidence motion. Then wide representation. A parliamentary system. In the parliamentary system, the executive consists of a group of individuals, and it is possible to provide representations to all sections and regions in the government. Demerits are unstable government, means system there is no guarantee that a government can survive its tenure. The ministers depend on the mercy of majority legislature for their continuity and survival in office, and a no confidence motion or political defection or multi-party coalition can make the government unstable. Second one is no continuity of policies. The parliamentary system is not conducive for the formulation and implementation of long-term policies. This is due to the uncertainty of the tenure of the government. A change in the ruling party is usually followed by the changes in the policies, and this makes the discontinuity in the policies. Third one is against the separation of power, means the legislature and executive are together and inseparable. Cabinet acts as the leader of legislature as well as executive, and this can be create a problem. The whole system of government goes against the late both these, and this is a fusion of the powers. Government of amateurs, means the parliamentary system is not conducive to administrative efficiency as the ministers are not experts in their fields. Prime Minister has a limited choice in the selection of ministers. His choice is restricted to members of parliament, and the minister devote most of their time to the parliamentary work, cabinet meetings, and party activities. So we have complete this chapter of parliamentary system. If you are facing any problem regarding government examinations, you can visit our websites, and you can also contact us on WhatsApp number. Thank you, class.